BYU is going to blow out VCU, and I'm tired of pretending otherwise.
You are Locked On Big 12, your daily podcast on the Big 12 Conference, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Okay, blowout might be a strong word, but hear me out. Happy March Madness Eve, everybody. I'm Drake Toll from America's #1 Big 12 podcast, Locked On Big 12. Thank you for making this show your first listen every single day. It's the most intriguing matchup tomorrow. It's BYU, it's VCU, and why will no one in the national media or even local BYU analysts tell you that the Cougars have the opportunity to blow this game out? If the game's going to end in a blowout, it's because the Cougars did it to the Rams, because you have been lied to. The propaganda machine for VCU, ever since Shaka Smart was there, is one that is too strong and that we've all fed into. How do I know that? It's advanced analytics time. If you hit subscribe, I get to keep my job. We're going to zoom it in here. Shot quality, which is the most accurate analytics site in college basketball, has the offense of BYU as number 14 in America. And, that big bad defense of VCU, 85th in the country. I don't care if it's Ken Pom, Torvik, Mia, Haslametrics. Shot quality is number one right now. There are NBA teams using their analytics, and you want to bet against them? Well, in Ken Pom, VCU is like the number one defense in the country. Do you get there's a difference between playing against a good defense or a great defense and playing against Houston's defense? Kevin Young, who has been facing the Lakers defense and the Nuggets defense, is going to walk into this game alongside Richie Saunders, Jaeger Demon, and say, we just played Houston. You guys at VCU think this is defense? It's not. 85th in the country is still pretty good, but pales in comparison to the 14th best offense in America. That's BYU. Let's bring it down a little bit. Shot quality tells me this. BYU is bad at getting to the free throw line and making free throws, but somehow VCU is just as bad about sending opposing teams to the free throw line. They're going to foul BYU, which, God bless, that helps BYU, because the Cougars don't draw fouls very well. And when they do draw fouls, they don't make their free throws. Everybody's like, the referees love BYU. Why don't they go to the free throw line more often? Open three rate. BYU's bad at getting open threes. VCU is worse on defense at allowing open threes. And we know the Cougars can shoot those because they just broke a record at the Big 12 tournament. That bodes well for you. Zoom it out. Zoom into this. Team stats and adjusted shot quality. BYU is the number 10 team in the country, according to shot quality, analytically right now. VCU is 60th. They would have missed the tournament. Against the spread, BYU is 20-13. VCU is 20-13. But according to shot quality, what the actual spread should have been in these games, the spread's usually set by Ken Pom. According to shot quality, VCU is 13-20. They're really not as good as advertised or as good as the fearmongers want you to think they are. This is the same VCU team who lost to St. Bonaventure, St. Louis, Dayton, Seton Hall, Nevada, New Mexico. BYU is losing to Houston and Arizona and then beating Arizona, and we're scared of VCU. Now this. BYU's defense can't really hang. I'm not really sure if VCU's offense. Did you know, according to shot quality, defensively, BYU is number 7 in America? But their defense is better than their offense? Yeah, the NBA head coach who they have has their defense better than their offense. Offensively, VCU is 52nd in the country. Their offense is better than their defense. And BYU's defense is grading really well in most categories, including this one. Remember that old free throw rate thing that I gave you just a second ago? Well, it works the other way, too. VCU is bad at getting to the free throw line. They send other teams to the line. They're bad at getting to the line and making free throws themselves. BYU is really good at keeping opposing teams off the line. There are not a lot of free throws shot in games where BYU plays because they're not good at getting there. They won't force you there. So VCU won't get free throws. BYU will get free throws by default because VCU fouls a lot. BYU will have open threes that they can make And overall, their defense is actually way better than we thought it was. And VCU's offense could be their bell cow. And VCU's defense isn't Houston. That's what the advanced analytics say. Oh, but it's March. Throw that out the window. BYU, 3.5-point favorite here, according to ESPN Bet. VCU, BYU, over or under 143.5 points. Money line for VCU, plus 120. They're the big underdogs. BYU, according to FPI, ESPN's analytics, Richie Saunders and company, a 57.6% chance of victory. That's not that great. But this is the same VCU team that lost to Dayton. BYU's recent loss after a 9-game win streak was to Houston, the number one team, arguably, in the country. Those two things are not the same. The winner of this gets Wisconsin and Montana. St. Mary's, Vanderbilt, Alabama, Robert Morris. BYU is in position to make a run this March because VCU is not as good of an opponent as everyone wants you to think they are. Advanced analytics would say that VCU is not what we think they are. I'm not trying to get you too excited to let you down. I know BYU fans are mostly a scared fan base. They're a timid fan base. They don't want to get their hopes up. But I think you can here. I really think you can. Jimmy Fallon even has BYU going to the Elite Eight this season. I know, I get it. Like, you read those three letters, VC and U, and you get worried. But I am not right now when it comes to BYU.
The NCAA tournament is here, and so is the bracket breakdown.
Locked On Podcast Network and Amazon Fire TV channels are teaming up to deliver NCAA tournament coverage like never before. Watch studio shows featuring former players and Locked On's local experts as they guide you through every upset, buzzer beater, and bracket matchup.
Stream it all for free on Amazon Fire TV channel. Search Bracket Breakdown to see it all for free.
It's your team every day.
BYU wins this game by a final score of 72-61. The Cougars get it done by double digits. That is my bet. That is what I will pick in this game. That's what I will go to FanDuel and place a wager on. BYU will win against VCU. Today's show is brought to you by Fabric. Fabric is so key because life moves fast, especially when you have a family. One day you're watching your kids take their first steps. Before you know it, they're off to college. Securing their life's important. Fabric by Gerber Life makes it simple to get term life insurance that fits your family's needs. With Fabric, you can apply for term life insurance online right from your couch. Get covered in under 10 minutes. In many cases, no health exam required. As a parent, you can make sure your family's financially protected no matter what happens. You can get $1 million, I should say, in coverage for less than $1 a day. So protecting your loved ones doesn't have to break the bank. Fabric also offers free digital wills and access to investment accounts to help you plan your children's future. Join the thousands of parents who trust Fabric to help protect their families. Apply today in just minutes at meetfabric.com/lockedoncollege. That's meetfabric.com/lockedoncollege. Policies issued by Western Southern Life Assurance Company. Not available in certain states. Prices subject to underwriting and health questions. That's Fabric. BYU over VCU. I'm telling you now, it will happen tomorrow. This has been and always will be Locked On. Thanks for making it your first listen every single day. Dose Grande.